What is love?
Not this high and low. It's like this through line that deepens.
How do we get it?
There's the punchline to find the one. Oh my God, it's been me all along.
The ego wants to be loved.
I love and accept myself.
The soul wants to love.
Can we love ourselves and accept ourselves through it all?
True love is discovering that we're the one we've been looking for. And once we fully embrace that, all other love arrives.
I didn't waste energy hiding, lying, pretending, faking it anymore. And that allowed love to begin to put one foot in front of the other.
My journey to love taught me that I am my ultimate soulmate. For love to enter, it has to begin inside.
Welcome. You have entered the realm of 1111 Talk Radio. Your host is SIMRAN. It's time to discover your own language with the universe. Empower yourself, broaden your mind, open your heart, and discover who you are. Now, here's your host, SIMRAN.
You and I are no different. Yet we are also each unique emanations of our values and mission to serve and uplift Mother Gaia. When we are truly at one with life, having become the one, it animates our body and breath if we just let go. We can't let life be so easy if we release the tension, the control, the judgment, and holding on. Tension is what we do when we don't let life into our body and through us. We can breathe in super deep and exhale all the way while we let the universe love us, hold us, have us, nurture and nourish us, literally support us at our back muscles, energetically lifting upward into our surrendered open heart and chest, belly deep, and grounded down the back into the earth. These are words from Allana Pratt's book, Finding the One is Bullshit, Becoming the One is Brilliant and Beautiful, and ironically, the key to attracting your ideal partner. I'm really delighted to have this intimacy expert and global media personality on the show today. She certainly is a model example of someone who's healing heartbreak, living unapologetically, attracting soul-shaking relationships, mentoring individuals into how to authentically be themselves, and how to open to being the one. You can find out more about Allana Pratt at her website, which is in the bio description below, along with her 6 books. Welcome, Allana.
I love you so much. I'm in your essence, your aura, your love bubble. I am so honored to be here and to be with you and to be really honest with you. Oh my God, that's me. I had this little moment of vulnerability. When I write, I'm not writing, it's like spirit's writing through me. And I feel so honored to be able to have downloaded those words as a gift to humanity. So thank you, my love, for having me on your show.
Well, it's a delight, and I can certainly say that every time I have seen you on a broadcast, on your podcast of intimate conversations, or whether it is on Instagram in a reel, there is a level of intimacy and vulnerability and, most importantly, humanity that so profoundly comes through. And it's certainly why so many individuals work with you, because that's where we need to go right now. There is incredible trauma and pain on this planet.
Yeah.
There are so many individuals seeking to express their authentic voice, and most of all, a void when it comes to feeling loved or even understanding what love is for many. So I want to start off with that big word, love, the journey that it takes us each on, what you have come to know about love.
Thank you. I'm seeing myself in an A-frame cabin outside of Palm Springs. It was the first time my son went to live with his dad. I think it'd been about 5 months at that point since I'd heard from him. At the recording of this podcast, it's been over 5 years since I've heard from him. So that is a place. Can I love the me, the mother who's going through all that without blaming and shaming myself? I'm seeing myself and I have a journal and I'm writing out, maybe I'm going to die alone. Maybe everybody will opt out of my Instagram because they've discovered I'm not a perfect mother. Maybe my son will never call. I wrote down all of my deepest, darkest fears, judgments about myself. And then I put at the beginning of the sentence, I went back to the beginning, even though my son may never call. And then I added to the end, I love and accept myself. And I did the whole, like maybe 15 or 20 of these statements. And I realized being human, loving oneself is not about an outcome or a goal, and certainly not about perfection. It's about the experience, the process of being alive, going through all these different moments of joy and heartbreak. And can we keep our heart, and I use this word on purpose, blade wide open, because it takes so much to open our hearts when we're scared or ashamed or mad or terrified. Can we love ourselves and accept ourselves through it all? And to me, that's the main reason to love. It's easy to love our glittery, gorgeous parts. It's a lot harder to love our hot mess, our shameful parts. And for me as a mother, where it looks like I must have been not good enough for these to be the experiences and outcomes that I'm having. And can I love myself even now?
Many years ago, when I first started writing, one of the very first lines that came through was, "You are not on a journey, you are the journey. You
Nice.
are experiencing itself." And it was the most freeing statement because all of a sudden I just started looking at everything as experience. And what came after that were many really heart-wrenching experiences. So to keep reminding myself of that and stay in it was a powerful place of both personal and spiritual growth. But that's not what the average person is taught nor wants to do. We want to hide the elephants that are in the room. We want to shrink back and not feel. We want to ignore the sensations and the pebbles and the rocks and the boulders that show up. We want to keep pushing forward no matter what. It takes great courage and vulnerability to face the elephants that are in the room. That is the basis of opening the door to our humanity. Otherwise, I don't know that we've actually tapped into our humanity. What are your thoughts on opening to our humanity and really embracing the humanity of self?
We all were raised as little ones and safety. And do you love me? Will you not reject me? Oh, if I get an A on my paper, I get attention. That must be love. Oh, if I wear this kind of short skirt, I'll get his attention. That must be love. And so I think we misunderstand what love is to begin with. And not that we're bad or wrong, but this is how society and life unfolds. We keep pretzeling ourselves into somebody we're not, hiding our vulnerability, our humanity, our authentic fears, our shames, our authentic rage, all these different emotions, because then they're going to take that quote unquote love away. But is that really love? Or is that how they control us to get what they want, or so that their autonomic nervous system stays calm as long as we're calm? And so as we get older and start to feel unfulfilled by that job, by that relationship, well, I got the boob job, but I'm still not getting asked to be married. We start to question, wow, maybe all these actions aren't for my truth, for my authentic heart, for the nourishment of my soul. And what is love really? And for me, I call it like wired backwards. So I was all outside in. I was doing all these things 3 steps ahead, getting the good grades, going to the right school, getting the guy, and I wasn't feeling fulfilled, satisfied enough. And I certainly wasn't feeling self-love. And then when I started to rewire myself from the inside out, and I guess we could call it be authentic, tell the truth, say, I'm afraid. I'm afraid you're going to reject me. I'm afraid I'm not good enough. Like, start to be really honest. It was the separating of the wheat from the chaff. Those people that only wanted me around to use me, and I was willing to be used. Take my light, take my body, take my money, take whatever. They started to go away. And the people that were actually liberated by my vulnerability and my honesty started to come closer. And I redefined what love is. People now say they hire me even because I'm so relatable. They can put their mask down around me and I won't go anywhere when they say, here's my closet, check out all my skeletons. I'm like, aren't they adorable? Tell me more. And I believe if we can all have humanity, honesty, authenticity, be what is attractive, like have a new definition of what is attractive, then we give everyone permission to feel safer being who they are. And then the reason, I guess I would complete that statement by saying, and why I love being an intimacy expert, into me I see. I'm certainly not like a marriage expert. I've had 2 divorces. I don't even know if we can call myself a relationship expert, but yeah, a relationship with self, intimacy with self. When we can, into me I see, look inside and no longer hit with a 2x4 that little you inside who's ashamed or scared, who messed up, feels like a failure. And instead, we replace that with a hug. We bring all our little yous home into this sense of oneness on the inside. We then have this capacity to be that welcoming, that patient, that curious, that spacious, that present with everyone else on this beautiful planet.
That's the humanity that I think is going to really shift our world. But I want to back up because you described something that we fall into that most of us don't even realize and sometimes never become aware of. And that has to do with performance. We don't realize the degree to which we are performing. And it starts with those, oh, sweetheart, good job. You made that A. Oh, you cleaned that up so beautifully. Oh, thank you for working on that. It comes from those affirmations of being the human doing, where we really are all of a sudden performing, we're acting, we're becoming the mask in real time. And it's such a tight mask that we don't even realize it's there. Women, men don't realize it's there until their late 40s, their late 50s.
You so brilliantly said that. The mask is so tight, we don't even know we're wearing it. Imagine that I have my hand on my face in a way that my eyes can see straight, but clearly there's a hand on my face. I'm like, no, there's not. I'm told, no, really, Allana, there's a hand on your face. No, I can see you completely clearly. And then someone pulls my hand off my face. I'm like, oh my God, that was on my face. So that's how close this mask of performance has been for me. So much so that I was 3 steps ahead, like a chess move of all the, well, maybe this mask. Well, if that doesn't go well, then this mask. What do I need to do so as not to get hurt? It was based in terror. It wasn't based just on trying to look good and get you to like me. It was like total panic, total fear, like life survival. If I don't get this right, my life's on the line. That's what it felt like. So these masks become your very breath or the holding of your breath. They become the way you have a permakegel in your vagina, the way your stomach is turned in, the way even when someone walks in the room, the fake smile is there before you even see who walked in the room. Or the minute someone sends you an email, you're already worried that they're going to fire you or berate you. It's this already always way of being based in, I'm going to say, an unintegrated trauma that completely runs the show. And I'll be very vulnerable what it took for me to recognize this was happening, because I was running so fast, accomplishing, and then I could even make it sound really good and spiritual. I was contributing, but really it was that I couldn't rest or slow down or be in silence, or I went into full-blooded level 4 trauma panic attack. And I wouldn't let that happen until I had a boyfriend who was very charismatic, invested in everyone else's companies. Everyone loved him, except within 2 weeks of moving in, choked me, pinned me down. 10 months later, after having lost my self-esteem, thought, well, I'm going to save him, terrified because he had 30 guns, fakey fake with everybody, had lost all my confidence. And I screamed loud enough when he was attacking me one night that the police finally came, put him in jail, and I went to a domestic violence shelter. That's the level of wake-up call I needed, because I was way too resilient and I had a great attitude and I was so ashamed. I didn't want anyone to know, but there was nowhere to turn but looking myself in the mirror going, what the hell happened here? How can I be such a phenomenal coach giving incredible results for decades and attract that kind of relationship? Well, I finally started to look at what was this mask that was like glued onto my nervous system. And what I discovered is that level 4 trauma, we're not even in our body, we're dissociated. So that's the fakey fake face. That's the authentic truth. I'm fine. Well, I'm not in my body to actually feel how I am. I'm out of my body and I'm numb, which feels fine. So I wasn't lying. I just wasn't connected at all. And as I began to do this trauma integration work and came back into my body, it was a painful, it took some years, not just a couple months, it took a couple years of facilitation to support my terrorized, terrified nervous system to come all the way back into my body, forgive myself, forgive others, and taste the God I knew through breath work and leaving my body, or through ayahuasca with a shaman in Peru. Like when I would leave my body, I knew oneness, but I'd never tasted it in my body. And I needed to for those masks to melt and dissolve into presence on the inside out and the ability to be real and authentic with myself and with others.
I so appreciate you sharing your stories that help individuals to understand where their trauma sits, how we avoid and escape and disassociate. I became very clear about that through exhaustion. My body just wouldn't operate anymore. It wouldn't do anything. It can show up in so many different ways, but
Yeah.
there is always that crash that has to happen. I call that the big boulder moment, the sign from the universe that is this enough pain to finally get you to stop and really see what's going on? What is it I believe? What is it that needs to change? How did you manage to keep moving forward and also take care of yourself?
I have no friggin' clue. I mean, when I look back at what I've navigated and I kept a company going, in fact, I had 2 companies at that time, and actually they both crashed and I almost went bankrupt. So that was another double boulder moment. I think my saving grace, SIMRAN, was my honesty. I shared with my clients. There was no internet in the domestic violence shelter, so I had to skedaddle and find an Airbnb, and I shared with everybody what happened. Bless them. I have 10 Allana Pratt method processes that I've developed over the years, which are really just a conglomeration of everything I've ever learned for 20 years with a little Allana theatricalism with it. And one of them's called The Theater of Redemption. And my sweet client said, I think we need to take you through the theater of redemption. It wasn't that far after that I actually started training coaches, realizing these processes that I'd come up with for them worked really well for me and for a lot of people. I didn't waste energy hiding, lying, pretending, faking it anymore. And that allowed God, love, the divine, sacred energy of our universe to begin to put one foot in front of the other, get up out of bed every day. For about a year and a half, I did what's called PSI, psychedelic somatic integration work. Weekly, I did cranial sacral, chiropractic, acupuncture, and structural massage. I was on tremendous supplements to support my burned out adrenals. The other piece is when I coach, I'm not in charge. I get out of the way and I allow spirit to use me to facilitate their healing. There's an energy that takes over, that lifts me, speaks for me, and loves them. I remember the day, maybe only 5 years into coaching, so quite some time ago. And on coach call number 1, we did this. And then the second coaching call goes into this premise. And I was just like, I hate this. This is in my mind. This is fake. This is not addressing where they are. I don't like this. So I stopped working for that company and put out my own shingle. I said, God, I just need to love them. That's what I want to do. I just want to love them. And when I do that, energy comes through me. Kind of like, when a mother lifts a car off their child, this energy that like, whoa, what is this? Beyond just your regular physicality. That those pictures where there's like the footsteps and then there's no more footsteps. And then it's like, God says, this is where I carried you. Yeah, that makes me cry. I think I was just carried by spirit till I could get strong enough.
Masters are not individuals that are living these elevated lives where nothing happens to them. They are the ones who are walking through the fire. who are finding themselves amidst the boulders and in the swamps, learning how to move through them so that they can guide others. It's time now for people to become aware, for the ego to serve soul. There is an exquisite beauty to pain. It's how we build resilience, grit, fortitude. It's how we learn to soothe ourselves so that we can soothe others. It's how we discover we're actually bigger than our circumstances if we lean into the fire and, like iron, become stronger through the heat. We don't need to fix someone when they're in pain. If we can see the gift in the discomfort, we can stay present when someone is uncomfortable and know in our bones that the obstacle is there to help them grow into who they choose to be. These are words from Allana Pratt. For the past 20 years, Allana's brave willingness to heal her own heart makes her authentic, relatable, and credible in her proven coaching programs and intimacy retreats. Her Patreon channel reveals raw, heartfelt, and sexy behind-the-scenes footage of how intimacy is an inside job. Her wisdom, exuberance, and raw transparency inspire the deep soul work required to create a solid, intimate relationship with oneself first, which naturally attracts and enhances a healthy partnership that lasts. Find out more about her Patreon membership and her 6 books, along with her own podcast, Intimate Conversations, by going to allanapratt.com. That link is in the bio description, and we'll be right back with more. Join my Substack. My publication is Beyond the Illusion, and you can find it at iamsimran1111.substack.com. That link is in the bio description. You'll actually receive all of the 1111 magazine issues on audio as part of that, in addition to the weekly prompt, inquiry, contemplation, and meditation that I provide to all of the subscribers on the annual membership. That link is in the bio description. We'll be right back after these messages.
You are listening to 1111 Talk Radio. SIMRAN is an award-winning author, publisher of 1111 Magazine, powerful speaker of wisdom, and a life mentor. Find out more at iamsimran.com. Now, back to 1111 Talk Radio.
I really enjoy working individually with people. If you're looking for some additional support and guidance, and you really want to dive into the subtle, then there are quite a few options on my website at iamsimran.com that have to do with shadow work or manifestation if you want a more focused approach on a particular thing, as well as individual sessions around deciphering signs, symbols, and synchronicities, gaining a better understanding of how the universe is speaking to you, your particular dialect. That link is in the bio description. Today, my guest is Allana Pratt, and she is talking about love, about intimacy, vulnerability, how to be with yourself, and all that comes with being who you are. And that means really getting to know every part of you. In the last segment, she talked about revealing to yourself some of the wounds and the challenges that you might have hidden or repressed, and also allowing yourself to be loved. It's what she does best with her clients. She's the mama bear. Explore her podcast, Intimate Conversations, books, or her coaching programs, and also her Patreon membership. Go to allanapratt.com. It's time now for people to become aware of, for the ego to serve soul. We are living in a world that is so rampant of people whose egos are dragging their souls around, and the souls are getting beaten up and exhausted because of what the ego wants. But it's time to reverse that and have the ego in devotion to, in kneeling to the soul's focus and vision. You've spoken about love and how love comes through you, and you want to be that big mama bear for everyone. What is the essence of your soul here specifically for?
Such a brilliant question, because indeed, for many years, my ego, fear-based, control-based, don't want to get hurt, want to look good, want to do it right, even want to make a difference. I think that was all my ego running the show. But as I mentioned earlier, one of my Allana Pratt method processes, Little You, I'd say that's my flagship. That's kind of what happened when I was on that A-frame. even though I may die alone, I love and accept myself. There was a little Allana inside that I was connecting with. It was almost like she's in my heart in the darkest back corner. And I used to hit her with the 2x4, like I said, but I decided to throw that away and throw the key away and go inside my heart and say, I'm willing to be with you as you are for eternity, even if you never change. I'm beginning to think, and I'm still a work in progress, but I'm beginning to think my little you is actually my soul, my divine child, the one who is authentic in the face of anything, the one who knows exactly the appropriate feelings to have in different moments, who never lies, who's just pure love, pure truth, pure authenticity. So when I lead with my soul, there's an innocence to it, there's a wisdom to it, there's an authenticity to it, there's I don't give a crap what people think to it. There's a freedom to it. And there's a lot of energy that's buoyant in my body and in my breath when my little you or my divine child or my soul is in charge. At least the way I experience it, there is wisdom for sure. There's universal truth and knowing, but it's not like old fuddy-duddy, like know-it-all kind of ego, what the soul, my ego might have said the soul is, like this old wise Allana who knows everything and is perfect. Like, no, I think that's the ego as well. I think there is a wise innocence to my soul. And when she's in charge and the ego isn't eradicated or judged, it's just in the back seat. It's in reverence to, in service to the soul. It'll get things done. It knows that my divine little Allana's in charge.
So, Allana, we're talking about the one, really finding the one. Years ago, my third book was titled Your Journey to Love, Finding the Path to Your Soul's True Mate. It was a book that I actually wrote 3 times because it was a book about self-love. And I found that over 20 years, self-love and the expression of self-love changed. It grew, it expanded, it became deeper. Probably the one thing that we're all here to do as our true life purpose. Becoming the one seems to be like the big self-love, like a different type of ownership.
I thought when I found a man who wanted me, I would be enough. If I could find the one, then I'd be enough. Clearly, 2 divorces later and other several failed relationships, that's not the case. And when I started to focus on falling in love with, being in acceptance of, celebrating, no longer judging, getting curious about all my parts, all my little Allanas, I would have these, the best words I use is like a direct experience where there'd be a process of separation, judgment, allowance, oh, a little bit of love. And then shazam, it was like this piece came home as an embodied moment where the ground fell away, gravity fell away, time fell away. It didn't last for longer than, 10, 20, 30 seconds, but it was a direct experience with an aspect of self that came home. And then the one in capitals was like, oh, I can't tell where I end and everything else begins and where everything else ends and I begin. I'm one with all. This doesn't require plant medicine. This is just breath work. One time I was just walking on the beach in Thailand. Like it just happens. Those moments were like breadcrumbs on a path home. Over time, more and more of these fragmented aspects of my soul, maybe we could say, come home into my body. Then there seems to be more space in my physical temple for the energy of the light of my soul to come in through my crown. And it feels like it pools in my hips. I can walk from my forehead, trying to get somewhere, do it right, be safe. That's a different kind of walking. And there's a walking I can do when the energy of my soul is in my hips and my hips are leading. My hips, and it's blind. I'm not trying to figure it out. I'm not trying to do it right. My hips just sense and feel where to go next. And it feels luscious, empowered, and enough no matter what. And when I'm in that way of being, which is a practice, I don't get there and stay there. If I don't cultivate it, I lose it. And it ever evolves and deepens over time. When I'm in that place, I feel like I'm enough. I'm the one. I feel like there's nothing I need to do to accomplish to be enough. I feel whole. And when I'm there, I don't even really care if I meet a guy. I don't really care if my dream of doing a TV show or taking a trip to another country, like those would all be lovely ways of experiencing oneness with the divine in all these different ways, but none would make me more one or more whole, more worthy, more any of it. It's like when that statement they say, I am that I am, like I really get it. It's in my body. So to me, that's what becoming the one really is. And then there's the punchline to find the one. Oh my God, it's been me all along, which then awakens the one, which is me all along. And I'm having this whole party within myself. The reflection I get from others is that there's no manipulation, there's no neediness, there's no strategy. I don't need you to be any different than you already are. So being with those of us who cultivate this becoming the one, we're very magnetic, we're very safe, and I believe attractive on an energetic frequency level to your ideal friends, your ideal clients, and if it's in your soul's path, your ideal beloved.
You work with women, you work with men, and you work with couples. I wonder, for each of those, you find a difference, bringing them back into their body and approaching the conversation around the one.
To me, the core of it is the same message. There's an honoring of each unique person's life's challenge, society's challenge, gender challenges. I honor whatever each person, whether they're a man, a woman, or a couple, what they've been through. I honor the dynamics that they're coming to the coaching relationship with. Are they single and never have been in a relationship? Have they been in 3 failed marriages? Is that marriage 1 year old or 20 years old? Has there been infidelity in this marriage, a death of a child? Like there's a lot of different experiences. And yet I'd say across the board, one question we could ask is, are they in their body or not? Are they like me, dissociative, spinning so fast because they haven't had someone to hold space without judgment of them feeling a feeling without being judged, told you shouldn't feel that way, oh, everything's going to be fine? Have they had someone that allows them to feel a feeling, sit in the fire, integrate, and actually experience, oh my God, if I get out of the way, if I get my mind out of the way and I don't try to force the outcome and I just surrender, my body actually knows the way home. And it is the greatest privilege of going through these underworld shadows, darkness, suicidal hopelessness, rage, terror, shame, these places, self-hatred, these places that most people don't want anyone to know that is going on inside. To partner with them, to facilitate that, to say, take me with you. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. I love you. Breathe. To walk with them and watch this incredible body, this temple, know what to do when we get our minds out of the way and let go of those attachments to outcome and watch a body come emotion after emotion after emotion all the way home to 0 point, stillness. And the room changes. Their soul is in their body. There is so much divinity in the room. It's those moments where you don't know where I end, the client begins, where the client ends, the room begins. Everything, it's like you're swimming through oneness. Wholeness when they're home it's a feeling, it's a sense, and the wisdom that comes out of their mouth when they are home of why, the lesson, the gift, the message, the evolutionary opportunity of that trauma. They get it. There's no more resistance. Total forgiveness, such that forgiveness doesn't even make sense. These are the exquisite moments that I get to have with clients. And when I do these journeys individually, it's like a 4 or 5 day experience. I reflect after. I create these report of findings so they can read them written, and I record them on audio. It's like I have this incredible privilege of being the divine mother or the divine father. I get to reparent the way they see themselves. It's a distinct honor. And then when rarely, but sometimes they go through this as a couple, individually with the sessions, but when they witness their partner no longer blame them or blame themselves, and when those places where the rupture just continues to have conflict finally gets repaired, and the communion with each other, and then how that ripples into their family, their health and well-being, their children. I love what I get to do.
What do you see as the real barriers to the heart in today's world?
There's a third dimensional world and a fifth dimensional world. So I definitely see a difference with clients committed to living fifth dimensionally. We can say that's a world where it's a win for you, win for me, and win for humanity. Whereas the third dimensional would be I win, you lose, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm superior, you're inferior, this kind of distinction. I shared about that domestic violence relationship. That very same relationship, very early on, he said, how did you get on the inside of the armor on my heart? I didn't let you in. How is it that you love me when I don't? So there was a deep bond, I think a soul bond there for that experience to happen, for him to own his violence, for me to heal my level 4 dissociation and trauma. There was a real conversation about the heart. He said, it's too squishy. You're inside my heart. It makes me very uncomfortable when I get around you. I love you and I hate you all at the same time. And so that gives me a bit of a window into our hearts. I've had the blessing and privilege of leading a guided meditation at the Heart Math annual conference in Cancun before COVID. And I've had a chance to interview Roland McCready and some of the scientists of heart math. There's a lot of science-based proof that our heart sends more signals to the brain than the brain sends to the heart, that the field of the heart, I think it's 4,000 or 5,000 times greater than the brain, that you're going to feel something's coming well before you see it, and that registers through your eyes to your brain and you react. So there is a massive wisdom to the heart that our brains don't hold a candle to. That can be spooky to people. Women in the temples, in our hearts and in our bodies, and then being shunned from the temples and running to the forests and the witch hunts for hundreds of years. This power that isn't quantifiable. You can't see it, but you can feel it. This is the realm of the heart. And I think when one is not in the heart, when one is not in the body, that feels scary. We want to snuff out that it looks like magic. And it's the real way of living with love in, as, and through an open heart. And the highest good for all decisions we make when our heart is splayed wide open. So I think that's part of what's going on, is that when we begin, so first it's like people that have a heart that's open to those that don't. It's like, how are they doing that? That's scary. I feel out of control. That's one piece. Another piece with the heart is that you can't measure and quantify. It's an energetic thing. You need to soften the mind, soften the strategy, soften the manipulation, let go of control, let go of the outcome, be in the unknown, be in uncertainty, to drop into the present moment in your heart and in your body. And that's another realm of fear, to actually soothe the mind, drop into the body, and experience that in this present moment, in the unknown, all the solutions are here. You're going to sense them in the heart, not think them in the mind. And then the third piece, which is a barrier to getting into the heart, is before you get to all the wisdom and the yummy stuff, you got to go through all the yucky stuff. There's layers of fear and anger and shame and self-hatred. There's a mess in there first that you got to love. You got to forgive. You've got to have empathy for. You've got to learn to have compassion for. That takes work. That takes consistency. That takes commitment. That takes bravery. And sometimes just having another glass of wine, shutting your heart down and going on social media is easier. And so I think there's a level of spiritual maturity that's required to do the work, to live with an open heart.
There has to be this willingness to allow the heart to be pierced in order to it to start to crack open, because that's where the true heart sense is. But I've noticed that many people think they're in love, with an emphasis on think. And the ego is so protective. We can think we're in love many times and to great degrees. What do you find is the distinction to begin to discern whether they're thinking they're in love versus actually being in love?
When you think you're in love, there's a lot of hormones going off. And you're high on hormones, the honeymoon phase, and it's kind of this addictive energy. And you let everything else kind of go. You forget to call your friends. You don't work out 3 times a week, maybe work out once. Like you just let everything go because you're literally getting this hormonal hit off of this person. That's trauma bonding. I know it well. I could convince you I'm not even sleeping. I'm just enamored with them. They must be the one. And then their friends say, oh, he's never been more cooperative. You're such a great influence on him. So you're getting all this social feedback as well. No, I believe we could call it imago theory, where you're attracted to the best in your mom and dad, but you're also attracted to the incomplete loop, the unmet need, that addiction. Do you see me? Am I enough? Will you not hit me? Will you not abandon me? Will you not yell at me? Like this little one with this incomplete loop is so wanting to be seen, so wanting to be safe, so wanting to belong, so wanting connection that our bodies literally hormonally get addicted to this. And eventually, generally, these relationships blow up. You break up and equate the same dramatic manner as the beginning of this love affair. I know it very, very well. What I sense true love is when you've already done enough work on your own to not need a relationship, but to choose one, to become the one, to integrate a lot of these unmet loops that you're looking for from the outside in within yourself. So there's a sense of, I'm not seeking to be good enough. I am enough. I need to be stronger. I am strength itself, humility, compassion, all these capacities. Not perfection, but we'll call it more whole. When you come into a relationship where two people are, quote unquote, doing the work and they're more whole and they're aware, oh, you're triggering me. You're doing this thing that reminds me of my dad. And you can articulate it and you can see it and you're aware of it. Oh, I'm not going to kill you off. I'm not going to blame you. I'm going to take full ownership of this. Like you literally have these kind of dialogues in your relationship because you can see clearly, oh, it's the pattern and I'm not going to go into the old drama anymore. So that's part one. And part two, the other partner doesn't react. They can see what's going on through the eyes of compassion, not the eyes of defensiveness. And they can be patient. Each of you become each other's master spiritual teacher. It's like there's dormant evolutionary qualities within each of you. It's almost like a figure eight starts to happen where your listening, your non-reactivity, your compassion, your self-ownership becomes an energy that literally awakens something in them. Oh my God, it is safe to be myself. Oh, I don't have to justify. I can own my stuff. Oh, I am allowed to speak my truth and I won't get rejected. It wakes something up in you, which then is a gift to the other. And then that person's like, oh my God, I can be okay that they don't want to spend the weekend with me. They want to have a girls' weekend. I don't have to take that personally. So this figure eight, you begin to wake each other up. It's spiritually mature. It's deeply honest. It has total self-ownership. And the love is not this high and low. It's like this through line that deepens within each of you. I would say the last part is others reflect back. They feel safe in your presence. They feel inspired in your presence. They become more of who they are in your presence. So you're a gift by simply being who you are as a couple.
I think that's what most people may not realize about relationship, about how its true purpose really is to help you uncover those hidden wounds from childhood, to recognize how you become one or both parents at different times in the course of the relationship, and that's the acceptance to work out. When we do that, we step out of the codependence, but codependence can be so rampant. To move from that place of codependence to the level of sensitivity that you're talking about, that then allows two individuals to be completely independent into who they are, That's true spiritual relationship. That takes it to a completely higher level.
100%. A lot of my clients come to me saying they want that. I think all of us want that when we're on the spiritual path. But when you actually get down to the nitty gritty, oh my God, you mean I need to own that? Oh, you mean I can't blame them for that anymore? I need to completely feel through all these feelings and not do my run out the door, scream at them. I just moved to Santa Fe, reconnected with some friends I'd known 25 years ago in LA. And they said, well, how was your last relationship? And I told them this story that he sold my Christmas present. I came home one day and I discovered he'd sold the tickets to Alanis Morissette. And up prior to that, whenever he had done something like that, instantly would say, how could you? Then he'd instantly get defensive and the pattern would go on. Or I would humph and I would leave and I would storm off in the car and I would cry and I'd come back and then I'd give him the silent treatment and probably not have sex for a couple of days. Like I was in my pattern. But that time, for some reason, when he said that to me, I was sitting down. That probably helped. And I just closed my eyes and I dropped in. I said, devastated. And probably for 60 seconds, I felt my feelings. And I did what I do with my clients. I let the feeling run the show, not me. And then devastated went to hopeless. I said, oh, I feel so unimportant, like I don't matter. And I felt that. Eyes still closed. Unimportant, felt that. And then everything got very still inside. And there was compassion, the feeling of compassion for him. And then there was awareness. You just forgot. And then I opened my eyes and it was like a deer in headlights. He's like, yeah, I forgot. For realsies, he forgot. And I said, I get it. I forgive you. And then it's like his whole body melted. And I was like, oh, that never happened when he grew up. Whenever he made a mistake, I'm sure he was really, really made wrong. And he's instantly defensive. And in that moment, I know there was a healing for him and a healing for me. And then in the end, I said, and I desire and require someone who's present and aware enough that they cherish the presents they get me and wouldn't just sell them without even asking or being aware. But I forgive you. And it was a conscious uncoupling as opposed to that blowing up that occurs when you don't do your inner work. And it's that same wound from childhood. And you just keep blaming the next partner and the next partner and the next partner.
Being conscious enough to say, I will leave a space better than when I found it. It may not be a space that I stay, but while I'm there and how I leave it must be better than when I found it. Heartbreak, as uncomfortable as it is, has been the greatest catalyst for growth, evolution, inspiration, expansion, for diving deep into awareness that I wouldn't have known was there. All of that came from what you said, feeling it, really allowing myself to immerse into it, to be swallowed whole by it, to become intimate with it, to let it speak to me, its wisdom, its whispers, its secrets. People tend to be afraid of their feelings. Oftentimes think if they start crying, they may never stop. If they start screaming, the scream will be so piercingly loud that it'll be heard on the other side of the planet. That they start raging, that the rage is going to do damage. Talk about feeling the feelings, even the ones that are the raging or hopeless, that it seems like it might obliterate you and you no longer be here. Or the sadness that's so deep that you may drown in the massive amount of tears.
It is an accurate feeling that you're going to die. It is an accurate, validated assessment that these tears may never end from the point of view of looking at those feelings over there and being over here. Actually, the way the body's autonomic nervous system works is that there's levels and stages. Once you come back into your body, having dissociated, the very first one, level 3 trauma, is very hopeless and it's very dark and it is very suicidal. And I have been facilitated, and now I'm the facilitator of being with someone in those moments. When someone's there who has your back, who says, take me with you, let's feel this, and you surrender and allow, I can say with 100% certainty with myself and my clients, every single time we get through that to the next level. But on my own, all by myself, feeling those feelings, it's overwhelming. I get into my head. I judge myself. I feel, oh my God, maybe I am going to kill myself. And we don't get anywhere. And then we dissociate again. And we sort of go in between level 3, hopelessness, out to level 4, dissociation. But when you've got a facilitator there to help you through that normal, natural experience of the body's autonomic nervous system, you'll go from level 2 all on its own, simply by feeling, sobbing, having somebody right there with you every inhale and every exhale, even if it takes 20 minutes. Then you're going to get to level 2 trauma. Level 2 trauma is very acute. It might only be 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds tops. But it's that moment when the cheetah is chasing the gazelle, and it's panic, it's rage, it's terror, it's self-hatred, it's murderous, like it's intense. It's so intense that if you actually did scream that loud in front of your average girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, they'd think you're crazy. They would run for the hills. They would judge you because it's really intense. But if you're with a professional facilitator who knows, oh, we're moving into level 2 trauma right now, take me with you. I got you. Maybe I'll hold their hand. Maybe I'll scream with them so they don't feel weird. I'll be right beside them so they can feel my body against theirs because they're generally blindfolded so that they know they're not alone as they're going through bloody terror. The autonomic nervous system in the body, not the mind, the body's remembering what it felt like at 3 years old when nobody came home or they left you at preschool. That did feel like life or death. To a little baby, like it did feel like life or death. Who's going to feed me? So your body's experiencing the validated moment of life or death. This is only going to last for 30 seconds. Let's feel it. Let's breathe. I think I'm going to die. I'm right here with you. Feel it. You're brave. I've got you. It'll pass. And on the other side of that, literally, most of my clients will say, oh my God, I'm alive. Yes, you are. But it feels like you're going to die. It really does. Or that much self-hatred, you're going to implode into the void of darkness forever. It does feel like that, but only for a short period of time. And then you're on the other side and you have the experience of embodied bravery, embodied courage, embodied resilience, embodied grit, not like an affirmation, like it's in your blood, it's in your bones, like you are strength itself. Then you get to level 1 trauma, and that's like nervousness, like, oh my God, did that really happen? I'm still here, still a little overwhelmed. And then if I still facilitate that level trauma, it'll go to 0 point. And 0 point is when the autonomic nervous system is reset all the way back home. And there, as I've mentioned before, a sense of wholeness, home, oneness, plus wisdom, a sense of I got this, that no one, no thing, and no circumstance can ever take away. And it's in there. We've reset the body. And then if you read through your report of findings, when there is this more openness to a new way of living, a new point of view, a new way of interacting, you rewire your body. And the things that used to trigger you don't. And the patterns that used to sabotage you don't. You have a level of divine discernment, worthiness for no reason, and a knowing that when an emotion comes up again in the future, you got this. Maybe book a session. Maybe you'll get good enough to handle this all on your own. Maybe you and your partner, you can train them and say, hey, I just need you to hold my hand and breathe and not fix me. I know I'm going to get through this, but you having my back would be great. These are the kind of partnerships you can cultivate and the way you can live bravely in this world.
This is how you know you have found the one. You sound like this one. I am speaking with Allana Pratt, and these are words from her book. I am one with Source, in me, as me, always will be, and always has been. I let the universe make love to me. I allow communion with the universe. I am the universe. It animates my life and my body. I am light. Light lives me. I sink into the pleasure of letting life love me. I am so grateful. I love myself so much. I am safe. I am loved in my messy and magnificent. I don't have to control anything, ever. I am loved, no matter what. I can allow myself to be held, and so it is. I allow my true friends to love me, wobbly and wonderfully. I need not try at all ever to be enough. I'm already enough, and all my needs are always met. I soften and allow the energy of life inside me. AllanaPratt.com. Be sure to check out her Patreon membership and explore all the wonderful things that she does, including her own podcast, Intimate Conversations. Thank you, Allana, for being on 1111 Talk Radio.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for spending time. If you're looking for some additional support and guidance, and you really want to dive into the subtle, then there are quite a few options on my website at IamSimran.com that have to do with shadow work or manifestation if you want a more focused approach on a particular thing, as well as individual sessions around deciphering signs, symbols, and synchronicities, gaining a better understanding of how the universe is speaking to you, your particular dialect. That link is in the bio description. Until next week, I am Simran, in love, of love, with love, and as love. Be well.
Thank you for opening your mind to a new reality, your heart to greater compassion, and your experience of aliveness with 1111 Talk Radio. Join host Simran next Tuesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern Time to step through the gateway of conscious living. You are not on the journey. You are the journey.